I was going to come out here and bowl through shaping the rest of these blocks. I didn't explain this in the video I made yesterday, but I have to further refine these by sanding it on two sides and then putting it in a special jig that I made, which is this right here, and then running it through the saw to trim it off to something that's close to the same size. I mean, I can make them perfectly, accurately the same size, but I don't think that it's actually needed. I was gonna do that, and then tomorrow I would put it together. But I don't know, I was out here yesterday, after I finished recording that video, I did a bunch, and made me so sick of it. Scratch that. I think what I'm gonna do is well, I don't think I'm gonna do it, I'm going to do it, is I'm going to work on a clamp that a new clamp design that I came up with around about, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 months ago. And I'm going to use this red clamp here as the prototype because part of it's already made. I mean, this part is what I'm going to use. This part is going to change. I've got a new idea for this part right here that doesn't involve these notches. So the notches are a little bit problematic, but I think the thing will still work with them. So the main thing that I have to do here with this is I need to get it, the components the right size so that they work correctly. And I should be able to do it with this. Ideally, it'd be a straight bar, but the actual prototype, the real build, would be a straight bar. So the first step, of course, is take this off. Okay, so what I gotta do is just build a new one of these with the new feature. So I'm gonna do that right now. There's not a whole lot to them anyway. They're just, pieces of 1/4-inch maple I use here. This is actually out of my big sub, the bar that went across between the two woofers. Recycling, I love it. Especially when you can, do something that's basically temporary anyway. So anyway, 1/4-inch, 1/4-inch, and then these pieces of 1/2-inch ones in between. These are just slightly thicker than the bar. I just need to glue these together and then let them dry, and then I can come back to it like so. And I'm using regular wood glue because it dries quicker. It reaches ultimate strength a lot quicker. I'm not going to give these a full-on, full-pressure test today, but I will try it to see how well it works, and the test will come tomorrow, right before I build the final version. The big question here is this angle in here. All right, this is 10 degrees. This is the way, I drew it up in SketchUp. I need pins here. Yeah, you want that to slide back and forth nice and smoothly. It's getting hung up a little bit on these notches that really don't need to be there. So what I'll do is I'll glue this side on, and then when I come back, I'm going to drill out well, actually I'll do that off camera. I need to drill a 3/8-inch hole here for the threaded rod thing. Put a T-nut in the end that faces towards the fixed jaw, which would be this side over here. I'm not going to do it fancy or anything. I'm just going to put it in, slap it in type thing. And then why don't I talk about this when I come back? There is one other thing that I need to do, and that's to glue this piece of sandpaper. This is actually from a sanding belt. That'd be one of the things that you need for this is, a sanding belt from a belt sander. This is actually from my 2x72, but it doesn't matter. You need a piece that's just regular sandpaper won't work. I don't think it will anyway, because the backing needs to be, really strong so that it won't tear. So I need to glue that onto this wedge that I cut at 10 degrees. So I'm going to use epoxy for that. And while the glue is drying on the other thing, the glue will be drying on this, and it should be strong enough by the time I want to put the thing together. All right, we're back. Here's the thing that I glued up. I took it and I sanded a little bit to pretty it up, although I didn't need to do that. I also drilled the hole through, and then I got the T-nut in the end here, and I sacrificed actually the end of this clamp for the cause, because I didn't want to go through the trouble of making a handle and a rod. I'd have to go out in the shed and get a piece of rod and all. So I just cut it. And I have one less red clamp as a result. So that thread's in there like that and sticks out the other side. And that rod is plenty long enough because this clamp has the advantage of being infinitely adjustable. So I have a nut here that's going to thread on the end of that. But first I need to get a 3/8 inch washer in place, and that's going to be the retainer that holds the pad on. So, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to peen this on so that I can get it done quickly. And what's involved in that is just flattening it against something really hard, which I don't have anything in here. My metalworking stuff is out in the shed, as some of you know. So what I'll do is I'll go out there, I'll quickly smash it down, and then I'll come right back. That's done. That's not going to turn. 3 solid whacks with the hammer. So this goes in here like that, and then the washer gets glued on. So I need to do that, and I'll come right back. All right, the epoxy dried on that, so that's ready to go. I know what I was going to do while I was waiting. I went in and I had lunch, to be honest. I was going to, now I'm going to have to go do this. I was going to like cut these notches off and make it flat, and then add a piece to it so it becomes smooth. Because I said that having these notches in here wouldn't affect the test, but maybe it will, right? Because where the heck is that thing? Oh, it's right here. Because, okay, this is the way this thing works, right? This wedge fits in the back here, all right? And then this thing presses against that. So, but if it's pressing, like if it's pressing into the notch, then it's going to affect the amount of hold it has. It'll either increase it or decrease it. So I'm going to go and do that, and then I'll come back. Okay, as you can see, I got it fixed up here. I cut that part out and I put this part in. And now I can put this on. Now this, I didn't give this a lot of time to dry, so I really shouldn't be putting that much pressure on it. It's only about 40 minutes ago that I clamped it up. So the way this works, I've already shown that, is that this wedge, which will be attached to the moving jaw so that it can move, you know, slightly in and pull it out to loosen the clamp, wedges inside there, and as you tighten the clamp, it pushes it tighter against the thing. And that's the reason for the sandpaper on there that provides the grip. Or at least that's my thinking. Now, I already did this before, but I reversed it. I think I showed that on a video that I had on Patreon, an exclusive video I put on there. I showed the clamp. I don't know where it is though. It's around here somewhere. Anyway, so what I did with that one is I basically sacrificed another one of these clamps, which I just realized I could have used that because I already had those teeth cut off on that one. But I put the sandpaper on this surface right here, like the full strip along there. And that worked. So that got me thinking about how I could simplify it or make it better. Because what I was having, the problem I was having was that the thing was digging in. All right, because the back of here had to be slightly angled so that it would dig in to the thing and grip better. But that was causing the thing to dent down. So I came up with this idea here. I said, what if there's some way to have a wedge in there that would stop it from digging in, like spread that load, and also have a grip. So I'm just looking around here for something to clamp. Maybe I'll use one of my silly blocks, okay? So, you know, like I said, infinitely adjustable. The idea is that this thing, I got to mark that as well. This thing moves along with the moving jaw, so you can push it up tight, and then you start tightening it. Okay, something cracked. I'm not sure what that was. I don't see anything. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, no, it was this up here. I cut a little bit of a scarf joint in here, thinking it'd be fancy, and you know, and so the glue was, but that's just butt joint, so yeah, the connection there is not strong enough for anything. But wow, look at this. It's working. I'm putting on lots of pressure here. The bar is not holding it though, because it's already broken. And, you know, just loosen it up, you do that. Obviously what I need to do here is make the bar properly. I need to make the clamp properly. Like I said, the idea for this prototype, or the idea behind it, was to find out, like, if this angle was right, this 10-degree angle, and apparently it is, because there was no slippage whatsoever. As for fastening this to the moving jaw, I had two options. I could have fastened it to the moving jaw so that it can slide back and forth here slightly, or I could have it loop around this the bar and move independently of it, and then just have like a pin on the end here so it wouldn't come off. I think the better solution is to have it attached to the moving jaw though. So what I'll do is I'll do that and I'll come back. All right, what I did is I cut the bar off completely and I put the fixed jaw on the other end, which basically means that I should have built it entirely from scratch to begin with and saved myself a little bit of grief. Anyway, who cares? So this goes on here like it did before. I also, I thought about how to make this thing, either have it fixed to that or have it slide on over like this. And I think that this is the better way because it makes it easier to grip it and pull it back type thing and move it around. You know what I mean? It gives you a little bit more, I don't know, it's difficult to, like it would be difficult, like what I was thinking is I cut that wedge off and I add a short piece to the back of it, and then I would drive a screw in part of the way that sticks out here so that it'll allow this wedge to move back and forth just that amount that it needs to in order to lock inside there. But the problem is, okay, after you put a lot of pressure on here, that's going to get jammed in there fairly tight, so it might take a little bit more force to pull it out. So this gives you that, you know, that area to grip so that you can do that. Okay, so let's give it a try. Okay, so you get the thing back in here again and slide it up. So it's like that, and you know, you push it in with all right, so that's that. Now, I shouldn't go too far with this because I only gave the glue on this an hour to dry, so it's not reached full, you know, strength yet. I mean, there's still wet glue there, so, but this will just demonstrate how it works. All right, so already that's holding it like with minimal, like that's holding it really well. And you know, to release it, you just do like that, and then like I said, you pull that out and it comes out. Okay, I like it. I think I like it. I think this is the way it needs to be. As it is, this works great. I think you just push it in, tighten it up, and you know, it's clamped, right? Super fast. Undo it, pull it out again, you know, and adjust it again. So there you go. That's the prototype.
We have a great section of do-it-yourself.
Do you like to do it yourself?
Sometimes. I mean, if the mood strikes.
How is the mood striking you now?